Hello everyone, I'm Quinn, I'm the creator of Heliosail, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to play an engineer. This is the final part of our small series about how to play all the different archetypes, so if this is the first one that you're seeing, go ahead and check out the rest of them. I'll link the playlist for all the how-to videos up here in a card. Engineers have a little robot companion, and that is kind of the core of their kit. They are a mind and body archetype, so you do need some points in both of those attributes in order to play an engineer effectively. As an engineer, you're going to be interacting with the crafting system quite a bit, most likely. You can purchase all of the upgrade kits that you need for your drone at stores and things like that, but it's just going to make the most sense for you to be constructing these things yourself. And I'm actually going to cover crafting in the next how-to video. I'll be covering the entire crafting system and how it works. You begin the game with a small drone that just has a very basic kit. In the engineer section, it goes over the different sizes of drones and what their different capabilities are. And in this section is also where you find all of the various upgrades that you can install into your drone. Installing an upgrade kit always takes one crafting session. Like I said, I'll be explaining kind of crafting sessions and what that means when I cover crafting as a whole. Just remember when you're looking at the table of different drone upgrades that the column that says crafting time is only how long it takes to make the upgrade, and then installing it still takes an additional crafting session. One of the things you're going to want to decide when you are building out your engineer is what you want to do with your drone companion. There's a starter table where you can roll for your first upgrade and get it randomly. And that includes not only a few different weapon options for your drone, but also other types of upgrades that would make your drone kind of give you a head start in one particular utility or another. And actually in the equipment section of the book, there's a section called Machine Shop that gives some information about service shops, which is a place that you can go to have your drone serviced and upgraded. And it also has some pre-built drones of various sizes that are spec'd to do various things. And this can give you an idea of the sorts of things that you can build your drone to do. As an engineer, you actually have some of the most freedom for any type of playstyle in the game, because you can build your drone to have completely different abilities than your own. For example, some of the pre-built drones that are in the machine shop include a scientist's assistant that can do analysis, give you boosts to your skill, and administer terra packs, just like a bioscientist's FAE device would. Of course, there's combat drone, there's a medic drone, there's also a spy drone option, which is a tiny drone that's outfitted for espionage. So you really can build your drone to do almost anything you want. Just to give you an idea of the range that is available to you, you could have a swarm of tiny drones that are, the size of insects and mostly do espionage that you're gathering information from. Or you could build a drone large enough for you to fit into and go kind of a mech suit route with it. What this means is that the day-to-day playing of an engineer involves a lot of kind of dreaming up what your next drone project is going to be, having this vision for what you want, and then constantly working towards it. You're going to want to be spending downtime whenever possible, doing some crafting and engaging in the crafting system in order to be working on your drone, upgrading it, creating these upgrade kits, this kind of thing. It is your responsibility as a player to track your crafting. I don't have any kind of template for you to do this with. Just in your notes, it is your responsibility to keep track of what project you're doing, how many crafting sessions you have done for it, whether those sessions were successful or not, because your captain is busy doing 100 other things. So this one's really on you. And you're also going to want to be investing in tricks from that crafting skill to make sure that you can be working on your drone as often as possible. I don't want to get too deep into the crafting system here because I will be making a separate video about it, but One of the key things about it is that you need access to materials. There's not any kind of discrete component tracking, but instead it's just a yes-no answer. Could you go get materials, yes or no? And if the answer is yes, then it is presumed that you can get a hold of the materials you need for your crafting session. So this means that you're going to want to be planning for how you're going to be working on your drone during travel in space, because in travel your character will have weeks of downtime that could be spent like really working on their drone and retrofitting it if you have access to materials, but you're not always going to have that access in space. So there's a few different ways that you can do that. You can try to save up money to invest in special ship rooms that will give you the materials that you need. You can invest in certain tricks that will let you stash materials away. Also keep in mind you can build or purchase additional drones. There is no rule that says you can only have one drone, and actually there's several engineer-specific tricks that are geared towards you having multiple drones and being able to use them effectively. You have two abilities that as an engineer you are going to want to remember that you have in your day-to-day play. The first is Rugged Nerd, which lets you swap your body and mind modifiers for a single roll. Some of the utility of Rugged Nerd, it's not just for skill checks, because you are actually swapping your base body and mind modifiers. I know that sounds like a small difference, but what that means in practice is that, for example, your drone's skill bonus is based on your mind modifier. So if your body modifier is higher, you could invoke Rugged Nerd, swap your body and mind modifiers, and that would increase your drone's skill bonus for the next roll that it makes. The other thing that you have is concentration. This lets you have good luck on a task that you're working on for any roll that is related to the task, but you have bad luck on any roll that is outside of the task you're focused on. And you can only use your minimum perception if there's something going on around you. So it's sort of a hyper focus. Now let's talk about the engineer in combat. Engineers are meant to have some kind of team play dynamic going on with their drones specifically. And how exactly that works depends a lot on how your drone is spec'd. So if your drone has a weapon like a taser that deals elemental damage, then you have this nice interplay that can happen where your drone is attacking a target, dealing elemental damage, and stacking that potential damage, and then you come in with, your physical weapon and detonate all the damage at once. I talk a little bit about how elemental damage works in the combat how-to video, which is part of this overall how-to playlist that I have linked above. That'll kind of go into more detail about that, but there are other ways that you could interact with a drone as well. I think in my combat example in that video, I talk about the drone putting up a shield. A hollow shield is an upgrade that you can add to your drone, so you could build out a drone that doesn't have this elemental damage maybe, but basically acts as kind of a tank and a body block for you. And you could put that drone between yourself and the enemy and then use a ranged weapon. Like I said earlier, you could build your drone to be large enough to get inside of and wear it like a mech suit. There's lots of different ways that as an engineer, you and your drone can work together in combat. But when you're deciding what you want your drone to do, you should think about how that works, unless you are purposely going to be building your main drone to be like a tiny spy drone or something. All right. Although I would recommend that you have a kind of main drone that is size small or larger, and you save any tiny drones as like secondary drones that you use for spying. You just kind of break out here or there. Although a lot of this depends on what sort of campaign your captain is running. That's pretty much it for the engineer. Join us next time when we'll be talking more in depth about the crafting system and how that works. Everybody have a wonderful day. Bye.